We're now joined by Hornets radio analyst and NBA insider Gerry Valancourt. Gerry, thanks for coming in.
My pleasure.
Anthony Davis, obviously the big star here in this draft. Any chance the Hornets don't use him for their #1 pick?
Yeah, if Jesus calls and says, if you pick him, I will end the world, then they'll say no. This is one of those very special players coming out of the draft. It's just special. He's long, he's unselfish, he's got tremendous character, he fills a need. He gives you, he's just one of those.
And he plays great defense. He loves defense, which is a Monty Williams signature.
And if it takes more space behind a business card to describe why you would take him, then we're dealing in word salad. He's talented, he will be very good, and he's got wonderful character with skills.
Shifting to that 10th pick then, because that sounds like where the real question marks lie. You think we're going to see a trade materialize out of this?
See, Jennifer, that's where I think the fun is. That's where the fun can be, because number one, what Dell Demps will do, and everyone knows this, he's going to take phone calls, and they're going to be people that will make some offers on that pick. There'll be C-level offers, there'll be B-level offers, and Dell will work them until he hears an A-level offer. Now, he can trade the pick outright for another pick or for personnel. He could take the pick, he could package it. So he's got some options there. But he's got an obligation, and he will. And he'll sit there. Sometimes he won't say anything but and he'll allow you to continue and make people have to call him back to up the ante. So I think that's where the fun is. There's some talent that will be available at 10 that's intriguing. You're going to go big, you're going to go scoring swing. How does he want to play that? He's got different paths he can follow. If
they keep it and they do use it, what's the top priority they need to address with that pick?
Well, they got to address scoring. You can't ignore the team was in the bottom 3 in scoring. They were 30th in pace per game. That's the number of possessions. They want to enhance their speed, their quickness, and their scoring. All that affected why they were ranked so low in field goal attempts, pace per possessions per game, free throw attempts per game. All that was affected by that. So they need to, well, if you view the playoffs and you see the length and quickness on personnel, speed and quickness, length. Now, you can address part of the length issue with the #1 pick, but scoring, speed, and quickness, imperative that that be addressed either through the draft, Jennifer, through trade, or through free agency.
And another piece of this puzzle, a very important piece, is Eric Gordon, a restricted free agent.
Right.
How interested do you think he is in staying in New Orleans now that the Hornets have the #1 and
I think he's very interested. I think he's very interested from the standpoint, and he'll become more interested if another element, I think, is addressed on this club. You want to find some player you can couple Eric Gordon with that will create more floor space for him. I think he's very interested. I think they have a tremendous shot. I think he will be playing here next year unless something incredible were to take place. And I think he's enamored by the thought of playing with the big that can protect that line. But that's why, Jennifer, that perimeter speed and quickness is an area of play that they will look at.
Emeka Okafor, what do you think his future holds with this
team?
He
can be a Hornet next year. He can obviously be a Hornet. For right now, as far as the front line is concerned, he's a guy that can play that 5 position for you, give you some time at the 4. But then again, Jennifer, it's very early in the process because the phone can ring, there can be packages put together. But there's another thing, too, the Hornets want to do. You also want to create cap flexibility into next year and thereafter to allow you to continue to package. Remember, this is not every issue is going to be addressed in one season, but they can get pretty darn good by a couple of nice moves this year.
And people are really counting on that for next season. We know when they got the #1 pick, the phones rang off the hook. Fans are anticipating a much better season next time around. What other roster moves do you think they need to make to really shore up this team for next season?
Good question. I think #1, they need to enhance escapability of their players. And by that I mean players that can handle the ball, get away from defenders. I think that speed and quickness you and I spoke about, that needs to be looked at the point guard position. Now you have Jarrett Jack and Grievous Vasquez, 2 good players. I love Jarrett Jack as like a Mariano Rivera. Off the bench, increase the tempo, accelerate it, make it happen. You love his playing personality and his intensity. I like Vasquez as well as a player, but you need that point guard that can get away from folks, run the pick and roll, draw coverage, get into the lane, because what that does, it creates more real estate for Eric Gordon to play. Now couple that with enhancing with another position possibly on the front line. It's all about, Jennifer, is offense is about space. Defense is about positioning. The offense needs to increase the talent to create more space. And how do you do that? By drawing defensive coverage. How do you do that? By having offensive players that can attack you off the dribble. And if you do that, your scoring elevates, and then you can add the pieces as you go. I think the playoffs are teaching and showing a lot of the fans, providing some valuable lessons.
Yeah, the Oklahoma City Thunder, let me ask you real quick.
Ooh.
A lot of people kind of equate New Orleans and Oklahoma City being smaller market teams.
Market size to me doesn't mean anything anymore. For another show, Cephalosha, Ibaka, Gordon, Westbrook, Durant, and company. Length, quickness, they can put 3 guys on the floor at the same time, sometimes 4, that can attack you right off the dribble. They have that quickness and length that can occupy so much space. They can get up and down the floor. They can score the ball. And now they're at the point in their existence where they've hardened themselves. They've become more callous because of the lessons learned. But that roster right there is fun to watch. But again, you want players, Jennifer, that buy their shirts from mail order, not off the rack, because you want to have that extended sleeve length, and that's what Oklahoma City has.
I love
that was a good one. I just ad-libbed.
Remember that one. And Hornets insider Gerry Valancourt, thanks so much for your time today.
Pleasure. Thank you.